Hey you guys, this is Britta Alton at Ringgold United Methodist Church. I don't know if you can tell where I'm at, but I'm in the prayer garden. I was looking at a few signs of spring that we have as I'm thinking about our Easter adventure that is coming up in just 2 weeks. You can see I have found some flowers throughout the prayer garden, and I also got a little surprise. I was under the tree and I saw these little dove faces staring down at me from a nest up above, and I was trying to film it and they surprised me and jumped out. So I didn't get a good video of our doves that have a nest in the garden, but they're here. They are celebrating Lent along with all of our Lenten roses and all of the tulips and everything else that is kind of bursting forth at this point in spring. That's why it's so appropriate that as a church we celebrate Easter. We celebrate the new life represented by Jesus and God's love for us through all of our worship and activities. Believe it or not, this is the 5th Sunday of the season of Lent. This week we're focused on the story where Mary anoints Jesus with very expensive oil. That's almost her way of worshiping and giving a really important gift to Jesus. Next Sunday, the last Sunday of Lent, will be Palm Sunday, and that's when we celebrate Jesus walking into Jerusalem. So if you think about it, Mary is anointing his feet, preparing him for his walk into Jerusalem as we lead up to this season of Easter. I'm so excited about the Easter adventure. It's from 10 to 12 on Saturday the 16th, right before Easter. We'll have a bunny garden, and a lot of wonderful activities and eggs we can hunt and things we can create as we celebrate this season of Easter and the life that Jesus gives us. Until I see you next, I pray that you are blessed. Bye.
While Martha served, Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair.
Whoa. Let me get something straight. She just poured an expensive bottle of perfume all over Jesus' feet? How expensive are we talking here? 1 week's wages? 2 weeks' wages?
Actually, Victor, it was closer to a year's worth of wages.
I'm sorry. Did you just say a year's worth of wages?
Wow, that's a lot of money.
That's as much as my mom makes in a year.
That's too extravagant of an offering. Mary went way overboard. She should have sold the perfume and given the money to the poor.
It's funny you should say that, Victor, because the very next section I'm
I
going
mean, think of all the stuff you could buy with a year's worth of wages.
Oh, that wasn't really the point, Victor. The anointing of Jesus' feet was an act of worship and was similar to the anointing of kings.
But I'm saying, sell the bottle and buy a cheaper perfume. It's still a nice one. It's still really nice perfume, but cheaper. And then she could pour that on Jesus' feet. Oh, and buy a towel so Mary doesn't have to use her hair.
Then you could buy food and clothing for people in need.
And keep a little for yourself. I mean, you're doing all the work here, right?
Well, I think the next verse will help clarify 1 or 2 things.
And did she really need a whole pint of it? How big exactly were Jesus' feet? All you need is like a tablespoon. 1 for each foot. Call it a day.
We're getting off track.
Choo-choo!
Okay.
Choo-choo!
Here is the next verse. But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages.
Judas, to the rescue!
Jesus replied, "Leave her alone. It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me."
Yeah, okay, but it still seems like a waste.
Victor, you and your great-aunt Marjorie are in the altar guild, right?
What does that have to do with anything?
Is it a waste when you buy candles or altar flowers or banners for the church? Couldn't you feed hungry people with that money instead?
No way! It's the altar guild's duty to provide those things. We can't have worship without them.
But where do you draw the line, Victor?
I guess I don't know.
Jesus wanted us to help those in need, but what Mary was doing was worshiping, not wasting. She was showing love and honor to Jesus. We all worship God in our own way, and worship is never a waste. Do you understand?
I do. Except for the hair thing. Why would anyone dry off their feet with their hair? I mean, a towel is much more absorbent than hair. I have to imagine you can only absorb so much water with hair.